people, Lucho here. Yesterday, I had a very interesting telephone conversation with a very dear friend of mine. And we were talking about the Genesis, but not the Genesis from the Bible. The Genesis as told by some Peruvian shamans. You know, in the Amazon, in Peru and in Brazil, God, one of the qualities of God is kene, and kene means artist. They said that God is an artist. So the story goes like this. God created the magnificent rainforests, the waterfalls, the beaches and sunsets. And when creation was complete, God looked at the gorgeous canvas and wondered what to do with the paint and the paint brushes. God knew that these creative tools were so tremendous that they would be dangerous in the hands of mere mortals. I could hide them at the top of the highest mountains, thought God. But man would surely learn to climb, and if they obtained these gifts, all of mankind would war over them. I could hide them at the bottom of the deepest valley on the ocean floor, God thought. But eventually man would learn to dive to great depth to retrieve these gifts, and I wouldn't want them to destroy each other fighting over them. So God decided to hide the paintbrush inside every man and the magic paints deep within every woman. That way, only the most worthy seekers would discover their power, and they would have to cooperate in order to create. It's a beautiful story that talks about the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine. Only when they come into sacred union and they join their gifts, they can create. From Peruvian shamanic lore also comes another thing that says, of course you all know this, but says, make love, not war. Later, the hippies in the 60s, they say it all over the place, but it comes from some tales, shamanic lore from the Andes. So, what does sacred sexuality has to do with changing the world? Well, everything. Sex is how we all got here. It's the most powerful creative force on the planet. But few people ever learn to harness its potential. You know, if you look, the countries with the highest degrees of violence, well, they correlate with the most negative attitude towards sex. And if you see countries such as Sweden and Norway and Netherlands, which have the highest standards of sexual education and women's liberation, they have the lowest levels of crime, abuse, etc. And in India, in the Indian philosophy, in the ancient Tantric and Hindu text, they talk about, 4 times on earth, the Yugas that you are familiar with, So they said that the original period when time began, what they call, the Satya Yuga or the Golden Age, where humanity was still connected to the godlike innocence, everything was cool. But then came the second, Yuga, the second stage, which is the Treta Yuga, or the Silver Age. Uh, is the age of the spiritual awakening, then the next yuga, the Vapara Yuga, or the Copper Age, where it was a balance, it was equal proportion of dark and light, etc. And then we enter in the Kali Yuga that we all know, or the Iron Age, which is, the darkest of all. It was designed to test the human spirit, the spirit of the connection with the divine, etc., of all mankind. And but if you study these yugas, you will see that that sacred sexuality, it was kind of going down. But it's prophetized that now is the time that where the sacred sexuality will re-emerge in the world, and the world is ready, is ripe for a sexual healing revolution. So if enough people, engage in sacred union or in sacred sexuality, well, we will accelerate this change of this ascension, this awakening. Ascension, everybody talks about ascension because then in the New Age they call it ascension because it's like we will float somewhere up there. But actually, ascension, it comes from the ascension of the Kundalini. That is what ascension is. And sexual practices, sacred sexuality, is the best tool for rising and awakening the Kundalini, This is not just, a New Age hippie concept, This has been written in ancient texts, and recently it became a concept studied by quantum physicists, when understanding that everything is connected to everything and taking the body as a temple, as a microcosmos of the collective consciousness. Another thing that comes from the sexual practices, sacred sexuality, from the Andes and also from India, the same concept, is something that it really match with the quantum physics theories. They said that as we heal our shallow breathing patterns, we will stop polluting the air. As we heal our unhealthy eating habits, we will stop consuming and wasting non-renewable resources on the planet. As we heal our emotional wounds, we will heal the water in the world. The water will be clear. And as we heal our sexual wounds, all beings will be happy and all beings will be free. Of course, many people will say, what have to do, if I heal my emotions, why the water will be clear in the world? Well, you need to go deep into quantum reality to understand the interconnectedness of everything and the external manifestation of the elements related to your inner state of being. So water represents emotions. For instance, when you heal your emotions, you heal all waters. So it's a beautiful story of the genesis of the creation, and I wanted to share it with you today. So my advice for today is make love, not war.